My future in-laws attacked me at my office over false accusations. Now they're begging for mercy, but their dark past is exposed. I, 33 am, never thought I'd be writing this, but here I am, sitting in a hospital bed with 2 broken ribs, a fractured wrist, and my entire world turned upside down. 3 days ago, I was planning my wedding. Now, I'm pressing charges against the people who were supposed to become my family. It started last month when my fiancée began acting strange. She checked my phone when she thought I wasn't looking, asked weird questions about where I was during the day, and make excuses to drop by my workplace unexpectedly. I figured it was just pre-wedding jitters. We were supposed to get married in 2 months, after all. Then last Friday, she blew up at me. I was working late at the office, finishing up a major project that could mean a promotion. Around 8 p.m., she burst into my office, screaming about some woman named Sarah and how she had proof I was sleeping with her. I had no idea what she was talking about. There was a Sarah at work, sure. She was a 60-year-old accountant who'd been helping me with the project numbers. Before I could even explain, my fiancé's dad and her 2 brothers stormed in behind her. Security tried to stop them, but they were already through the door. I stood up, trying to calm everyone down, but her oldest brother sucker punched me right in the face. I crashed into my desk, scattering papers everywhere. The next few minutes were a blur of fists and boots. I remember someone yelling about teaching cheaters a lesson, and my fiancé screaming in the background. Security finally got there and broke it up, but the damage was done. They'd managed to break 2 of my ribs and my wrist. The police came, took statements, and arrested her family. My fiancée was hysterical, waving her phone around and talking about messages and photos. But when the police checked, they found nothing. That's when things got interesting. The detective assigned to my case did some digging. Turns out my fiancé's best friend had been feeding her fake screenshots of conversations between me and this Sarah. She'd photoshopped them using some app, making it look like I was having an affair. Why? Because she'd always had feelings for me, and thought if she broke us up, she'd have a chance. The best friend confessed everything yesterday. She'd been planning this for months, slowly poisoning my fiancé's mind against me, creating fake evidence, and even hiring someone to take photos of me and Sarah during our project meetings to make them look suspicious. Now my fiancée and her family are begging for forgiveness. They've been calling nonstop, sending messages through friends, even tried to visit me in the hospital. Her dad offered to pay all my medical bills, and then some. Her brothers sent this long apology about how they were just protecting their sister. My fiancée, she's devastated. Says she'll do anything to make it right. But here's the thing. I can't get past the fact that none of them trusted me enough to even listen to my side. 5 years together, and she believed some doctored screenshots over me. Her family's first response was violence, not conversation. They could have killed me if security hadn't shown up when they did. The police asked if I want to press charges. My lawyer says we have a solid case. There are multiple witnesses, security footage, and my medical records. The prosecutor is talking about assault and battery charges, potentially even aggravated assault given the extent of my injuries. My fiancé's family is now claiming they acted in the heat of the moment, that they were just being protective. They're begging me to drop the charges, saying it will ruin their lives. Her dad's a respected businessman. Her brothers both have good careers, and charges like these would destroy everything they've built. Part of me feels guilty. I know they were deceived too. But every time I move and feel the pain in my ribs, every time I look at my bandaged wrist, I remember how quickly they turned to violence. How they didn't even give me a chance to explain. I did something yesterday that I never thought I'd do. I officially pressed charges. The detective came to my hospital room with the paperwork, and I signed everything. My hands were shaking, but I knew it was the right decision. My sister came to visit right after, took one look at my face, and burst into tears. She's always been protective of me since we lost our parents, and seeing me like this broke her heart. She told me something that really hit home. They didn't just attack your body, they attacked your character. They tried to take away everything you've worked for. She's right. I built my reputation from nothing. After our parents died, I worked 2 jobs to put myself through college. Every promotion, every client relationship, every bit of respect I've earned, I did that through hard work and integrity. And they were ready to destroy all of that based on some fake screenshots. My coworkers have been sending messages of support. The whole office saw what happened, and they're all willing to testify. Sarah, the accountant they accused me of sleeping with, is especially furious. She's been happily married for 35 years and has grandkids my age. The idea that she'd have an affair with me would be laughable if the consequences hadn't been so serious. The best friend who started all this was arrested this morning. The police found evidence on her computer of dozens of fake screenshots, along with a detailed plan to break us up. She'd even hired a private investigator to follow me around and take photos that she could manipulate. The level of calculation is terrifying. My fiancée showed up at the hospital again today. The nurses tried to stop her, but I agreed to see her. I wanted answers. She broke down immediately, saying she knows she messed up, that she should have trusted me, that she'll spend the rest of her life making it up to me. But when I asked her why she didn't just talk to me about her suspicions, her answer made my blood run cold. She said she'd been planning to confront me alone, but her family convinced her I might get violent if cornered. They told her she needed backup to feel safe. That's why she brought them. She actually thought the man she was supposed to marry, would hurt her. I couldn't help but laugh, which probably wasn't the best idea with broken ribs. The irony was just too much. They were so worried about me being violent that they decided to beat me up first. Real logic there. Her dad called my lawyer today, offering a settlement. A substantial one. He talked about how this was all a misunderstanding, how his daughter was manipulated, how he and his sons were just being protective. He mentioned several times how a court case would be bad for everyone involved, how it would drag out the pain. The money would be nice, I won't lie. My medical bills are piling up, and I'll be out of work for at least 6 weeks. But this isn't about money. It's about consequences. These men thought they could take the law into their own hands, that they could act as judge, jury, and executioner based on nothing but rumors and fake screenshots. What's worse is that they're still trying to control the narrative. They're telling family friends that it was all a big misunderstanding, that they just roughed me up a little because they thought I was cheating on their daughter. They're painting themselves as protective family members who maybe went a bit too far, rather than grown men who committed a premeditated assault. My lawyer says their settlement offer is a tacit admission of guilt. They know they messed up, and they're trying to buy their way out of consequences. But what message would that send? That you can beat someone half to death, and as long as you have enough money, it all goes away? The prosecutor called today. She wants to make an example of this case. Apparently, they've seen a rise in similar vigilante-style attacks, families taking the law into their own hands based on social media evidence. She thinks a conviction here could help deter others. My fiancé's younger brother tried to reach out through a mutual friend. He said he feels terrible, that he was just following his dad's lead, that he never meant to hurt me so badly. But I remember him kicking me while I was down, remember him yelling about teaching me a lesson. He's not sorry he did it. He's sorry he's facing consequences. The worst part is, I'm starting to remember more details from the attack. The doctors say that's normal with trauma. Your brain processes it bit by bit. I remember them taking turns, making sure the security cameras didn't get clear shots of their faces. I remember her dad telling them to focus on my ribs, where the bruises wouldn't show in a suit. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment thing. They knew exactly what they were doing. My sister's been staying with me at the hospital, sleeping in that uncomfortable chair despite my protests. She says she doesn't trust them not to come back, even with the restraining order in place. I didn't think it was necessary at first, but after seeing how they're trying to minimize what they did, I'm not so sure. The company's HR department called today. They're fully supporting my legal action and have provided all the security footage to the police. They're also pressing charges for trespassing and destruction of property. Apparently, my ex-fiancé's family did quite a number on my office during the attack. Update: it's been 2 weeks since my last post, and a lot has happened. I'm home from the hospital now, but the situation has gotten even more complicated. The prosecutor called yesterday with some disturbing news. They found text messages between my ex-fiancé's dad and brothers from the morning before the attack. They were actually planning it. There were messages about teaching this cheater a lesson and making sure he can't run away. They even discussed which weapons to bring but decided against it because it would leave too much evidence. This completely destroys their heat-of-the-moment defense. They're now facing additional charges for conspiracy to commit assault. My lawyer says this changes everything. We're looking at potential prison time, not just probation. My ex-fiancée came to my house yesterday. I didn't let her in, but I talked to her through the door. She swears she didn't know about their plans, that she really did just want to confront me about the supposed affair. The police are still investigating her involvement, but so far it looks like she's telling the truth about that part at least. Her best friend, the one who created the fake evidence, took a plea deal. She's going to testify against my ex's family. Turns out she didn't act alone either. My ex's oldest brother had been encouraging her to find dirt on me for months. He never liked me, thought I wasn't good enough for his sister. When she couldn't find any real evidence of cheating, she started making it up. The company has been incredibly supportive. They're covering all my medical bills and legal fees, and they've promised my job is secure. My boss even came by yesterday with paperwork for the promotion I was working on when this happened. Said they weren't going to let thugs and criminals interfere with rewarding good work. My ex's family is getting desperate. Their lawyer reached out with an even bigger settlement offer. They're also trying to pressure me through mutual friends, church members, even my distant relatives. Someone, I suspect her dad, even called my boss trying to convince him to pressure me into dropping the charges. But here's what really sealed my decision to go through with the prosecution. Yesterday, I got an anonymous email with a video. It showed my ex's brothers attacking another guy 2 years ago, someone else they thought was disrespecting their sister. They put him in the hospital too. The victim never pressed charges because they threatened his family. I forwarded the video to my lawyer and the police. The prosecutor is now investigating that incident too. Apparently, this family has a history of violence that they've managed to cover up with money and threats. I've been getting messages from other people sharing similar stories. Girls they've dated, guys they've threatened, business partners they've intimidated. It's like opening a floodgate. These men have been terrorizing people for years, using their money and connections to avoid consequences. My ex called again today, crying about how I'm destroying her family. But I keep thinking about that other victim, about all the people who were too scared to come forward. Someone needs to stand up to them, and I guess that someone is me. The preliminary hearing is next week. My lawyer says with the new evidence and witnesses coming forward, we have an extremely strong case. The prosecutor is pushing for maximum sentences, especially for her dad and oldest brother, who seem to be the ringleaders. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. These people have money and connections, and they're used to getting their way. But I keep thinking about what my sister said. This isn't just about me anymore. It's about every person they've hurt, every crime they've gotten away with. My ribs are healing, and the doctor says my wrist should be fine in a few more weeks. The physical scars will fade, but I'll never forget how quickly people I trusted turned violent, how easily they justified trying to destroy my life. To those asking if I'll ever forgive them, I don't know. Maybe someday, after they've faced real consequences for their actions. But right now, I need to focus on making sure they can't do this to anyone else. Final update. The evidence was overwhelming. Her dad and brothers took a plea deal today. They're going to serve time, not as much as they deserve, but enough to send a message. The judge was especially harsh after seeing the pattern of violence. My ex stopped trying to contact me after the video of their previous assault came out. I heard she's in therapy now, finally dealing with her family's toxic influence. I hope she gets the help she needs. As for me, I'm healing, both physically and mentally. The promotion came through, and I'm focusing on work. My sister finally went back to her own place, though she still checks on me daily. I'm thinking about moving to a new city once this is all over, maybe getting a fresh start where nobody knows this story. Sometimes the right thing is also the hard thing, but I know I made the right choice. The cycle of violence stops here.